Seattle. One of my favorite cities, and one that I called home for a few years. There's so much to do in the Pacific Northwest, from climbing Mount Rainier, hiking through the only rainforest in the continental United States, to running around Lake Washington in preparation for a marathon. I speak from experience. It's beautiful, it's green, and it's totally slept on. I came back this time for my friend's 50th birthday party, and after doing a bit of digging, I found that the gym at the Thompson Hotel where I was staying was pretty small. After a little more digging and a few emails and messages, I found a Muay Thai gym that was about a mile from me in Capitol Hill. So, I reached out to see if it was okay for me to come and have a private lesson and talk a bit with the owner. She agreed, and the day of, I walked up Pike, found the unassuming business below, and called her on the intercom. I went up the stairs, changed, and began a 3-minute skipping, which you can see here. It's pretty much the common warm-up of these types of gyms. After that, we chatted for a bit so that she can get an understanding of what I wanted from the lesson, and also so that she could see where I was as far as my foundation. You don't want to have somebody like doing some really off the wall, like jumping, throwing flying elbows and flying knees when they can barely throw a 1-2 punch. So we chatted for a bit and we figured out what to do. So the funny thing is that I don't really know what to do when I'm shadow boxing. I've only trained a little bit for like less than a year, and I haven't had to do a whole lot of shadow boxing, and I know there's a lot that I need to do, and I feel like just watching this, you can see that I'm putting in more effort than I need to be doing. Within 1 minute, she already has notes for me. She calls out that I'm looking tense and I'm not grounded.
Notice where you have tension, where you're holding tension in your body.
Okay.
Okay, have you ever heard the word sabai?
No.
You know what that means? In Thai, it means like basically peace. It means relaxation. It means like chill. It means calm.
Okay.
Right? You want to like learn, you know what I mean? Like that you're interested in. I'm okay with following your lead. It is your time and your money.
Yeah.
But also like since you've not ever done this before, maybe you aren't sure what you want to do, and it's a good idea for me to be able to assess where you're at based off of watching you shadow
I mean,
box.
it's been a little while since I've been in the gym, just because I like left my job and now I'm here doing this.
Cool, cool. Well, just like if it's okay with you, shadow box, I'll assess where you're at, and if you want, I can just tell you some stuff to work on, and if you have anything you specifically want to work on, then you know, like also you just picked up about 2 minutes of me peeing in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be muted. So.
What's that?
I said that's gonna be muted.
Yeah, it's fine. I actually, you know, you'll see. I was like, hey Eric, I'm peeing. Isn't that funny? I didn't think about this.
And I feel like I tend to be more forward.
In general, yeah. That's true. But have you ever thought about like the fact that like whether you're forward, right, or you're back, right, or you're more even stance, right? If you throw across, right, the majority of your weight's going to come over to your lead. Okay. So if you're already forward here, right, that's just going to be more true.
Right.
Okay. If you are a little bit more even here, right, when you throw a punch, right, it's going to allow you to like transfer that weight over, right, in like in more of like kind of an even and economic sort of a fashion. So the idea
here I'm like if I start forward, then I'm going to pass my knee and my center of gravity.
Exactly. So like I'm not neurotypical. Okay, the Venn diagram of trans people and not being neurotypical, you know what I mean? Like is like it's basically a circle, right? So like I like to have like these like different rules, you know, like that I basically go through in order to like figure out if I'm doing something efficiently or not.
Okay.
All right. But the other thing about rules is that rules are made to be broken, right?
Yeah, you have to know when you can step outside of that.
Exactly, right? So one thing I like to keep in mind is like, where's my nose, okay? If my nose is over my knee, then I know that I'm, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that I'm off. It's gonna take me longer to recover, right? I'm gonna be easier to hit if I'm here, right? Versus if I'm here. So when I throw a punch, right, I try to make sure that my spine is in alignment here, and that I'm throwing, you know what I mean? Like, and allowing to know where my weight is and knowing that it's not too far one way or the other, right? And it's gonna be pretty much the same when you're kicking, you know, like, and as when you're throwing punches, right? So what I want you to see is that when you're here and you throw your cross, feel the weight come to here, and rather than like going up on your toes and letting yourself kind of come here, let yourself stay centered here, like a top, okay? I like to think of my body as a top, all right? Or like a dreidel, because I'm Jewish, right? So it's like you fucking spin the dreidel. If the dreidel is on its axis, it's nice and straight, right? You know, like, and it goes fast. As soon as it gets off its axis,
is when it all starts going.
Yeah, the top is wobbly. Yeah. So I like to make sure that I'm in balance and that I'm, you know what I mean? Like that my top, you know what I mean?
So
like
you can get like pulled off, but even further out balance, get swept, get kicked.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I throw a punch, right, I keep myself in alignment here, right, and I still have weight here. It's not all over here, right? So there might be like 65% of your weight, right, is going to transfer to this, right? But like 35%, you know what I mean? Like it's probably still gonna be, maybe not that much, you know, like, you know,
there's
like
a significant amount of weight.
A significant amount of weight is still gonna be on your foot that's mobile. Right? So when I throw this foot's mobile, it drives forward and I stay here, my weight transfers over to here, because I'm sitting on the punch, right? But I'm still in alignment. I'm nice and solid. Same thing when I throw my left, right? Boom, like that, okay? I go over here, right? And I'm still following that same rule. This foot goes flat, most of my weight's here, but I still have weight here, bump, like that, as I come over and I'm, I like to say that your spine's in alignment. You have a very homophobic spine, meaning it's straight, okay? Yeah. Feel that transfer. Do it a little bit slower at first. Also, like, try to get, which allows me to deliberately shift what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Easier
like,
to get back to the...
Exactly, but like when I'm, like my zero is going to come back to here so that I can shift more readily. Does that make sense to you? Yeah? So basically, like if I have my thing, I like to think of myself as, do you know who Yosemite Sam is? Yeah, the Looney Tunes. So it's like got the fucking pistols. It's like the varmint, goddamn, pew, 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 right? Yeah, like my hips are like the 6 guns. All right, my hips are like the 6 guns. If I'm facing you, right, my hips are like the 6 guns, like this. Yeah, and like basically, like when I go to shoot, you know what I mean? Like my hip goes to point at you, right? When I go to shoot, pow, right? My hip goes to point at you, pow, right? The 6 guns there, but I start here. Yeah, and that's even when I throw a kick, pow. Right? Good. Again. And good. Let's go ahead and add that again at the end. One more time. Sorry, it's not your fault. It's mine. Bad pad holder. All right. One more time. Sorry. Again. Cross. And uppercut. Hook, cross across, hook, cross. Relax and breathe. Uppercut, hook, cross. Pop, pop, pop. Good, good, good. Jab, body cross. Pop, pop, pop. Yeah. Pop, pop, pop. Ah, yeah. All right, jab, cross, hook to the body here. Yeah.
Jab, cross, hook.
Hook to the head. Yeah.
Hook, and then hook.
Jab, cross.
Then
Jab, cross. That's right. Jab, cross, hook to the body, hook to the head. There you go. One more time. Of various different forms of oppression.
Right.
Right? They aren't people who are experiencing various different forms of oppression.
Right.
And even if they are, a lot of the time they have bought into the paradigm of culture, right?
Right.
And so it causes them to not be curious.
And they also don't know even to look outside. You don't know to ask a question that you have no idea about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are based around asking questions, around knowledge, right?
Yeah.
What can make us the healthiest, you know what I mean? Like, how can we change this world that we occupy, all of it, you know what I mean? Like, but like by starting in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only real change you can make, is in your own sphere of influence.
Fucking correct.
Yeah.
But that shit has ripple effects.
Exactly.
All right. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get back to training. We'll clinch a little bit.
Yes.
All right. So I want you to start out, come in here, right? Put your hands up like this. All right. We're gonna play patty cake. All right. All right. Maybe you've seen this. Maybe you've done this before. Yeah. I don't know how heavily like boxing works clinches. I'm assuming pretty well because they seem to have good clinchers. All right. Better boxers, but really good clinchers. All right. So, like when I get to here, right? But right? I have an entry point,
right.
Okay? So, and if I hear, entry point, okay? All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to feel, okay? Feel that? What's there? What can you do there?
I can come around.
Yeah, that's right. So you want to, when you're here,
So I'm like, it's controlling your
Controlling my hand, yeah, controlling my wrist, controlling my arm. If I'm here, I go whoop, like that, okay? Yeah, if I'm here, I go whoop. Notice how I'm maintaining contact.
Right.
Okay? The reason to maintain contact is very, very important because if I do this and you decide to go over, I have to be able to know, right? I have to be able to feel it so that I can slide, okay?
Right.
All right? So this is, you know what I mean, the game, right?
Yeah.
So you're here, you feel this, right? You come in. That's the wrong one. If you're here,
this,
nope.
Or,
so if you're on
the outside, then
you go in. Yeah. If you're on the if I'm on the inside, you go over.
Yeah. So here.
Like that. Yeah. Here, let me go ahead and do it to you a few times so you can feel it. Yeah. Feel that. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. I'm control. I get to here and I. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm here already. So I right here with flipper fingers. Shup. Whoop. Yeah. Shup. Whoop. Yeah. Okay. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Clinching is I barely touched it when I started, so.
That's okay.
That's why it's the weakest
A
part.
lot of people don't clinch. Yeah. We are a Muay Sok gym overall. Like I'm an elbow fighter, and I teach more elbows than a lot of coaches.
Okay.
Because I'm the coach of a gym full of marginalized people, and elbows are the least understood of all of the weapons that are on a human body. Which
I feel like
means,
they can come out of nowhere really fast.
Which means that for us, like because we might get attacked on the street, right? I don't talk about that on the mat, very much. What I talk about is sport, right? Because violence that could happen to us is already implied just by walking out onto the street.
Right.
Okay? Like it's like this world is explicitly violent. You know what I mean? Like towards, queer and trans people, especially towards like queer and trans people who are black, right? Who are like Latina, right? Who are Asian, right? Okay? Like there's, you know what I mean? Like this world is already explicitly violent against them, right? So the implied violence that exists out there, we all know it, so we talk about sport, we talk about athletics, okay? Because I don't want to re-traumatize anybody who comes into this building, into this space, right? We're trying to take as many of that shit out, okay? I'm already giving you an interview,
Yeah.
just so you know, right? But I'm giving it in the context of training.
Right, that's totally
okay.
right.
Yeah. So we're here, right? We learn this thing that not everybody knows how to do, okay? So that we can exploit that, right? All right, so go ahead. Yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you show, don't throw, you're doing a good job, right? You're not trying to make contact with my face, you're just trying to feel how to do it, right? Yeah, there you go, there you go. Yeah. Good. Good. All right, so now I'm gonna do it too. Okay? So I want you to think about like staying in contact for the most part. You'll notice that when I go to when you go over, right? I do this, I bring my arm up to kind of like get it up, and I'll also come up here. If you notice, right? I'm not like doing this, right? Because I'm not opening up, I don't want to open this up, right? I may well let go of this hand, which is oftentimes a clinching no-no, all right? It's a clinching no-no to like release control of either of the appendages. But the thing is that right now we're not clinching necessarily, right? Like right now we're like just in the entry point, right? As soon as we start to actually move to here, right? Now we're clinching. Okay, and now I want to make sure that I'm, you know what I mean? Like that I've always got the points of contact, you know what I mean? Like, and that I'm controlling your center line and making it so that you can't elbow me, right? Okay, and that's like points of control are here, 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 yeah, here, yeah, and here, okay?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like but you got to control the center line, all right? You'll understand this better when you watch it back. Okay, and that'll help you later.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So
that's why I've been doing this mostly, just so I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's cool. So come on. Good. Yeah.
So when you come up the center, what is a good parry or?
So it's coming here. You can cut across like that. I like to go ahead and throw that up elbow at me.
Oh, just.
Yeah, you see how like I'm just like
in a glove too.
Yeah, you're in a glove, so I just pop like that, right, and then move it, right, so that this is here, right, to block it, and it also is getting rerouted, okay, because I also want to like disrupt, you know what I mean, like, and be able to counter with my own elbow, right, so, you know, like, so it's important to like basically try to, you know, like control it. You see how like I bring this up here now, right? And I'm blocking that, or I'm gonna Dracula guard across, you know, and then you can't get in, right? And I can, you know what I mean? Like I can bring mine right over there. So these, you know, the most important thing is that you keep in mind that this is precious, okay? So you don't want to get cut. Right? And that like, and so you need to control, you know, like the arms of the other person that you're up against. And if you're not controlling actively, i.e. touching them and have, you know what I mean? Like one of the, you know what I mean? Like the areas where it needs to be, yeah? Okay? Yeah. Then like you've gotta get up top, right?